Hello and welcome everybody to another Foundations draft video, and I'm Paul Cheon, and we are sitting at Platinum 4? Yep, the ladder reset or the arena ranked reset has officially happened, and this is my first actual draft video that I'm recording since the reset. For those of you who've been following my sealed content, I kind of got my butt kicked last weekend. I actually spent like 50,000 gems, and we did not make it to the second day. The draft video you saw yesterday was recorded prior to Thanksgiving because, of course, I needed to pump out a lot of content before the festivities. But we are back at it here, and now I'm excited. I'm just going to pretend this is day two, draft one of the Arena Open. How about that? Because we get to do a draft. I love draft way more than sealed deck. This sealed deck, I just could not figure it out. So let's hop into this draft and try to work our way back up to Mythic. Now, before my draft starts, I just wanted to say that this video is brought to you by tcgplayer.com. Check out tcgplayer.com for all your singles and sealed product needs. Whether or not you need a box of foundations or singles to round out your deck, check out tcgplayer.com and make sure you click that affiliate link in the description below before you do. Additionally, check out heavyplay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. If you want top-of-the-line deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, and more, go to heavyplay.com/paulcheon to get you 10% off your first order. Additionally, they're going to have a presence at the upcoming PAX, so make sure you swing by their booth, say hi, and they'll still give you that 10% discount in person. Alrighty. Can we turn things around? Okay. Taking a look at this pack, none of the commons look particularly great. The best commons in this pack are Healer's Hawk and Gorehorn Raider. As far as the other cards in the pack go, there's Ride Up the Dragon Caller, which is a really sweet card, but I don't think the card's actually that strong. There's High Fate Trickster, which is actually worse than I initially gave it credit for, primarily because it's a 4 mana with 2 toughness. 2 toughness in a format full of stabs and burst lightnings is not where you want to be. So for me, I think I'm leaning Abrade as the pick here. I think it's just the best card in this pack. And let's move on. Noting that those are fun and interesting rares, and I wouldn't fault anybody for taking those rares and trying to draft a fun deck around it, especially that the Mythic Enchantment. All right, moving on to pick number 2. Already things are starting to fall off. That is the nature of this format. You have just lots of middling commons. For uncommon, we have Slumbering Cerberus, which could be okay to go with the Abrade. We have Bite Down as an interactive spell, and yeah, again, everything is fairly mediocre. I wonder if I should just follow up the Abrade with the Cerberus here. Red-green is a decent color combination. I mean, I'm just going to take this. There's nothing really that strong here, and starting out with an Abrade and a Cerberus doesn't seem terrible until we can get a better sense for what colors are open. Now, red, I don't mind with basically any color other than blue. Red and blue tend to be kind of on the weaker side, but red, white, aggro, red, black, red, green are all completely fine color combinations here. Obviously, with the Cerberus, red, green would be a nice follow-up. So for that reason, I'm not really interested in taking Tolarian Terror. In other formats, this would be interesting. Another really fun enchantment in Extravagant Replication, but I don't think this card is good either. I have lost to it, though. Here, oh man, these packs are all just kind of weak. I think I'm just going to take the Cackling Prowler. If I want to pair red with green, I think it's close. Like in terms of power level, the Treetop Snare Spinner and the Cackling Prowler are somewhat close. But I think in red-green specifically, you want to lean towards things that have 4 or more tough power. So let's go with the Prowler here. And now we have an interesting pack where we have both the Swiftblade Vindicator, which would go nicely in a red-white aggro deck, or I can just take something like an Affectionate Indrik or an Ambush Wolf. I don't really like the Vindicator that much. There's not infinite ways to pump something. I think I'm just going to try to draft a red-green beatdown deck. And I actually think in that type of deck, I like Ambush Wolf more than the Indrik. Just, the deck's looking to be a little bit faster, and I want to really lean into the 4 power matters theme. And so for that reason, I'll take the Ambush Wolf and kind of see where it is I need to be. But it's always hard to tell when green is open just because green is generally kind of weak, but we will take it one pack at a time. Moving on to pick number 5, another very, very tough pack here. I don't really like Elfsworn Giant or Sure Strike. There's an Uncharted Voyage, which I think is the best card. There's a Seeker's Folly, but no real indication that black is open. I like Seeker's Folly, but I don't think people value it too highly. Uncharted Voyage, I think, is the best card in this pack. Do I take that over something like an Elfsworn Giant, or do I just stay the course? I think I'll stay the course. And I don't really like Sure Strike very much. The reason being, you have access to Giant Growth as well, which I think is just a better a better effect. So let's just take the Giant here. And now we have Affectionate Indrik. That's pretty late, but also Rugged Highlands, which I think is exactly the type of card that you want. You always just want 1 or 2 copies of this, but Indrik is also pretty good. Actually, you know, it's not even clear that red is necessarily open. So let's take the Indrik here and kind of take it on a pick-by-pick basis. Green seems somewhat open. We are seeing a bunch of green cards. Not that they're especially strong. I'll take the Wary Thespian here over Dwinen's Elite. I think Dwinen's Elite is largely a trap unless you're in black or green specifically. Then I feel like there are enough elves to turn it on. But with the Thespian, the Surveil can be decent enough. And now we have this pack that has Gorehorn Raider and the Ambush Wolf. In this instance, I will take the Gorehorn Raider. There's also Meteor Golem, but I do think this is a nice top-end 4-power creature to play in the Gruul decks. But I just have all commons. I need the payoffs. I need the uncommons. Yeah, so I'll take the Raider here, just because I do think it's an... Oh, well, I should have taken the Ambush Wolf, I guess. Oh, well. It does feel like this is where we need to be. But even then, it's just not that impressive, right? Not really a huge fan of the Firebrand in red-green. Or the Goblin Surprise. Okay, well, Llanowar Elves is certainly a card that I want, along with the Rubies and other various 4-power matters payoff cards. Let me know what you think, by the way. Ambush Wolf versus the Gorehorn Raider. Don't really care too much for the Meteor Golem. Very, very easy Llanowar Elves first pick here. Best green common in the entire set. Allows you to go from 1 to 3. Then cards like the Ambush Wolf and the, I forget, Beastkin Ranger also would be a nice addition here. So definitely on the lookout for payoff cards, interaction, pump spells, stuff of that nature. Burst Lightning, best red common in the set. Actually better than a Braid. So very, very happy to pick that up. Noting that one of the best rares in the set here is Elenda, Saint of Dusk, but we can't splash for that one. That would be far too ambitious, and we are happy enough with Burst Lightning here. Noting that red, we first picked in a Braden, second picked the Cerberus, and didn't see too much after that. We did table the Gorehorn Raiders, which is a pretty decent sign. I think this card is quite decent. But we want, you know, the 2-mana 2/2 that gets Menace when you play a 4-power creature. And yeah, you know, the more I think about it, the more I feel like maybe I should have taken the Ambush Wolf, but we were really light on interaction at the time, which is why I took the more expensive card. But I think it's probably more important to just have a good mana curve, and I probably should have just taken the Ambush Wolf. All right, here we're going to take Bite Down. Okay, you know, this isn't amazing stuff. We're passing amazing blue and white cards. Makes sense because we didn't see any either. But I'm hoping that that doesn't mean that they're red-green. But there's a High Fate Trickster, a Banishing Light, and an Uncharted Voyage, which are all good cards, along with a Micromancer. But we are happy enough taking a Bite Down in our red-green deck. All right, a 4-power creature, 3-drop. I was sad about passing the Ambush Wolf, but we'll happily take an Eager Truffle Snout here. Beat people down. Very hard to race, and also it just kind of forces your opponents to block because you make a food every turn, which goes really well with cards like the Slumbering Cerberus and the Cackling Prowler, which have morbid triggers on them. Ooh! 5th pick, Llanowar Elves. Love to see that. Extremely happy with that pick. Let's pick up more 3-drops here. And, I mean, this deck's looking okay. And red-green is certainly a deck that's capable of winning off of its commons because all you need to do is just curve out and beat people down. So, liking this start here. Ooh, interesting pick. Ambush Wolf, Mild Manner Librarian, and Heartfire Immolator. I think it's the Immolator. We're pretty light on interaction, so it's just nice to have an effect like this. I also notably do really like the Mild-Mannered Librarian as well. But we have enough, we have a few top-end cards already. I think it's pretty close between the two. But I will go with the Immolator here. Also works well with a couple of the Morbid cards that I already have. Here I will take a Shivan Dragon, but probably not going to play it. I mean, it's okay. But it's not nearly the card that it used to be. Let's just put it that way. To put things in perspective, Shivan Dragon has a 52% games in hand win rate, whereas an Affectionate Indrik, which by all means, I mean, when you look at the two, this looks significantly worse, right? But the thing is, this format has such good removal. You want your creatures to come into play and do something. If it doesn't, it's generally not going to be that great. So which is why cards like Gorehorn Raider and the Indrik are much better than a card like the Shivan Dragon. We'll note that Pack 2 has been going reasonably well here. I have 14 cards here that I'm all pretty happy playing with, so there's that. I don't really like playing Thrill of Possibility unless I'm playing the blue-red spells deck. There's a Bloodfell Caves, but red-green doesn't really want to splash. I'll take this Meteor Golem, but the stats are just so underwhelming, I'm not sure that I want to play it. I do like Meteor Golem a lot in sealed deck. I do have a couple of Llanowar Elves, so it's something that I can definitely consider, but I don't love playing Meteor Golem. All right, Sure Strike. Hey, I don't have any Giant Growth just yet, so I'll play the Sure Strikes if I have to. And here I'll take Sower of Chaos over Spitfire Lagak. It is technically a mana sink, not the best 4-power creature. In fact, I'm going to put it in the sideboard for now and hope to not to have to play it. Here, I do love me a Scrawling Crawler, especially if aggressive. I don't mind playing this in most decks in general, but we have double Llanowar Elf. This is an awesome card to play on turn 2. It just puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. It has to be dealt with, and especially when you're trying to just kill your opponents by having a proactive strategy. I think this card is awesome. One of the better 3-drops, honestly, you can pick up here. So, again, solid base, solid base. Would love more 4-power. I have nothing that actually cares about 4-power. Let's pick some of those up in this pack. Okay, this pack has a bunch of good white cards. There's a Banishing Light and a Serra Angel. Notably, the rare is missing. There's a Dwinnen's Elite, but we don't really have a bunch of elves. I think it's just a Snakeskin Veil here for us. Solid, solid combat trick. Like I said, a lot of good removal in this set. And this is the absolute best card at blowing out your opponents when they try to use said removal spells. Here we'll take in Ambush Wolf. Dude, definitely need some 3-drops here. I hate Juggernaut in general. They need to make an upgraded version of Juggernaut to match modern times. I think Juggernaut could be like a 5/4, for example. All right. Ooh, Burst Lightning, pick 4. Okay. That is amazing to see. Anthem of Champions is really cool. Youthful Valkyrie is cool. I don't mind a Giant Growth, and I would really like Courageous Goblin. This is kind of the common payoff for having 4-power creatures, but certainly not going to take it over Burst Lightning here. So our removal suite definitely looking better here with 2 Burst Lightnings, a Braid, and a Bite Down. A couple of Gorehorn Raiders. Definitely good at killing small things. Now we have the choice between, well, Axeguard Cavalry and Treetop Snare Spinner. I don't really like the Wildwood Scourge very much. I'm kind of weak to flyers. I don't really like the Cavalry very much either. I will take my first Snare Spinner. My deck really doesn't have a ton to do with its mana, so I think it's not bad to be able to just play one of these as a mana sink. Now we have the choice between Ambush Wolf and Giant Growth, and there's also Bulk Up. I think I'm just going to take another Ambush Wolf here. Ooh, Heartfire Immolator. All right, so red was certainly somewhat open here. It didn't seem that way, but the late Gorehorn Raiders probably was a sign that red was somewhat open, so happy enough with the Heartfire Immolator. So this is our deck. Solid curve. Not really interested in playing Juggernaut here. Maybe there's a world where I can play Involuntary Employment if I'm fast enough, but unlikely for that to be the case. Sower of Chaos is also a mana sink. That's 4 power. But noting that I don't actually have anything that keys off of 4 power cards. And man, I missed out on a lot of... I don't know. Look, this is a deck of cards. Was this color open? Green, maybe not so much. Pack 2, it certainly was. But we got a bunch of the red. We have a decent curve. We have some combat tricks. We have some removal spells. And that's always good enough to pick up like 4 wins, maybe? We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Also, with double Llanowar Elves, I can probably play 16 lands. My mana curve isn't super high. So I can probably fit one more card here out of the sideboard into my deck. I already put one Sower of Chaos in. Again, I don't have anything that cares about 4 power matters. So somebody else probably was drafting the red-green deck here. Let's take a look. 5 2s, 2 Llanowar Elves. Yeah, like I said, I do like my curve. Very, very solid. And I do need to cut something. Probably a mountain. We're definitely heavier on green, but with double Llanowar Elves, it's super important that we get it down on turn 1. So I think this is the split that we want to go with. 7 mountains is a little bit light. So maybe that'll be the tiebreaker with what I choose to be for the last card in my deck. Well, none of these options... I mean, this is... when you see all of these different comments, this is kind of why I don't really like red that much in general, because they're all cards, but just none of them are cards you're happy playing with. And this is how you can get some really, really weak packs in this format overall. I think I'm just going to play a Treetop Snare Spinner here. None of the options are fantastic, but with double Llanowar Elves, having a couple of mana sinks seems nice. So having one Sower of Chaos and one Treetop Snare Spinner seems like the way to go here. And yeah, I mean, this is a very straightforward deck. Nothing busted. I don't really have any rares. I guess Scrawling Crawler counts, but this is just kind of what you would expect. This is probably what you would expect out of your average red-green deck. If Frank Karsten did one of his hypergeometric averaging out a red-green deck in this format, it would be something like this, with probably a couple of more 4-power payoffs, which I really, really wish I could pick up, but I didn't see any. But despite that, I still think this deck is pretty solid. Let's see how this does. All right, now before round one starts, I just wanted to say that if you've been enjoying all of this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, my Patreon is the best way to do so. That's patreon.com/paulcheon. Recently been getting a huge influx of patrons. Really, really want to say thank you to all the new patrons and all, of course. It really does help a lot. Really do appreciate all of the support. And it's made for an awesome, awesome way to close out this year. Again, you know, this year I didn't know where I would be, just with the content creation game, and having all of you tune in and watch all of this content along with all the patrons. It's just been great. And so my plans for now is to continue this until the wheels fall off. We'll see how that goes. So next year we will still be in the content game. All right. Wow, that kind of got long-winded. Sorry. Sometimes my English. All right. Anyways, let's keep going here. Thespian or Cerberus? I'm going to go with Thespian here. Just because I want to... Well, you know... Nope. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm happy that I surveilled that to the bottom. Or to the graveyard. What would you do? I mean, the thing is, with my hand, I guess I have enough removal where things will trade. Oh, gosh. Should have... God. Should have played the Cerberus. Helpful Hunter. I mean, this is why the Thespian... This card was in Duskmourn, and it was awesome. And it's much worse in this format, and it's because of silly cards like the Helpful Hunter. By silly, I mean silly good. Alright, with all the mana up that they have, I'm not really interested in attacking with the Wary Thespian here. But I will attack with the Ambush Wolf. They could have a Luminous Rebuke, definitely. Okay, so they let that happen. I guess I'm just playing out the Crawler. I'd be very surprised if they had a removal spell there. Yeah, I'd be really surprised if they had a removal spell there. I feel like if they had a cheap removal spell, they would have killed the Hawk. Or they would have killed my Ambush Wolf. Quick Draw Katana. Okay. On the Healer's Hawk. Well, you know what? Thank goodness for this Burst Lightning. Because they were going to try to race me. And the Katana is nice if you're very aggressive, but in this instance, it's not going to be good enough. Alright, how do I want to go about this? I don't want to attack with the Crawler. Let's just attack with the Wolf, see what they do. I'm not going to use the Bite Down here, I'll just let this trade happen. I'd rather keep the Bite Down to be able to kill a bigger creature. Like if they play a Serra Angel, for example, I want to be able to kill that. The Crawler is doing a lot of damage. Wow, are they really... Their play can't possibly be Equip Helpful Hunter attack me, is it? Okay, I will take 3. No shot, right? What is this? Is this a raid creature? Borders? Goblin Borders? Okay. Alright, we'll kill that. Oh, I messed that up, actually. Darn. I messed that up. I should have done it on my turn. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. The reason being is this will... If I bite down on my turn, this gets to untap. But we get to just kill our opponent. Alright! This is Foundations draft right here. This is what a Foundations draft deck looks like, right? Red, green, creatures, some combat tricks, and a couple of burst lightnings. This is the way Richard Garfield drew things up. Alright, let's keep it going. Alright, on the play here, I don't have any 1 or 2 drops. Notably, I don't have Llanowar Elves, but I feel like I still need to keep, given that I have this Burst Lightning. 2 drop would be nice, and we drew it. Nice. Now let's hope they don't have a Burst Lightning, and they don't. So, very, very good for us. Slumbering Cerberus. Curious what I should do here. I think I'm just going to attack. Yep, that's fine. The reason being is I still just have... Like, I kind of wanted to kill that anyways. I have a Burst Lightning, I know. But I still have Truffle Snout and Sower of Chaos. And I want to be able to play the Sower of Chaos next turn. So I think this is okay. And Burst Lightning is always just going to have a good target anyways. So if they had a Burst Lightning, they would have used it here. So this tells me that they probably top-decked that Burst Lightning. It's very likely. There's one of our mana sinks. Yeah, we're doing it. Wow. Alright, so now I think that they have Fake Your Own Death based off of that attack. So I just need to be mindful of that. Let's kill the Raider. Yep. And attack. Oh, they got value off that Strongbox Raider, which is good. Is it another raid card? Gorehorn Raider? It sure is. That's gross. Okay. They blocked previously. I think they're going to block again. If not, it's fine too. Okay. That's fine. They have Fake Your Own Death here, most likely. Or they just attack to try to get a trigger and bluff me, which is honestly a strong play. And credit to them for making that attack. But we are out of action, and they've gotten a lot of value. Ooh, Ravenous Amulet doesn't do much here. Alright, this is great, actually. Scrawling Crawler with Snakeskin Veil up is amazing. They might have Involuntary Employment. But we do have the Snakeskin Veil for that. I think they're trying to set that up with the Ravenous Amulet. At least they could be. Yep. No, you don't. Okay. Dealing lots of extra damage to them. I'm going to hold this forest in my hand in case they have Burglar Rat. I don't need more than 5 mana in play anyways. Opponent at 4 life. What do you have? Infernal Vessel, sure. Could be an Eaten Alive. Feels like an Eaten Alive. Okay. So they're going to sack this, and hopefully this bite down is going to get it done. But remember, I felt like they had... Fake Your Own Death. Okay. Fake Your Own Death makes the creature come into play tapped, right? I believe. I mean, alternatively, I can just play 2 things. And then just kind of force them to... The thing is, if they had a removal spell, they would have killed the Crawler, right? Yeah, let's just go for it. All right, so they didn't have Fake Your Own Death. So shout out to the opponent, although they would have died anyways. But shout out to the opponent for making that nice attack and sneaking in 1 extra point of damage. Every point of damage matters, folks. Bluffing a bluff attack also is important in some of the time. All right, opponent on the play. Ooh, great hand here. We have, and to be fair, any hand with Llanowar Elves looks great. So let's go with that. I feel like they had Burst Lightning though. There was like a timing tell there. So, I mean, that doesn't mean I'm not going to play Llanowar Elves, but yeah. It's the only thing about Arena that I don't love. Beastkin Ranger. Dwinin? All right, I'm going to play the Ambush Wolf here because, oh yeah, I mean, I want to trade with the Ranger. I'm going to take a bunch of damage, but... I don't want to play the Crawler out just yet, just because I'm not that ahead on board. So I just don't want to give them the extra action. Like, I'd rather just have the creature that can block the Dwinin here, if possible. Although they could have a combat trick. God, this is rough. I played this hoping that they wouldn't attack me, but they did, so I'm just going to take it. They could have a Gorehorn Raider. Certainly possible. Okay, they played their own Cackling Prowler. Alright. That is a thing. Okay, let's go ahead and kill the Dwinin. Then this gives us prowess. Can't really do much for 1 red other than Burst Lightning, so it's not even... Yeah, that's... I actually don't even know why they did... Okay, so I don't understand why they wouldn't want to just Burst Lightning my 2/2 there and grow their Cackling Prowler. You know what I mean? It's just like... Seems unnecessary. Alright, that's gonna grow, and then now let's play the Crawler. "6/5 Prowler is huge. They're at 8 life. Looks like they have their own bite down here. It's a funny race here. Funny race. Oh, do they have a follow-up here? No. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, I'm attacking. And I'm hoping they don't have a pump spell. That's kind of it. Or a haste creature. That's a Ceratops. Alright, I need a Burst Lightning off the top, I guess, right? Oh, what? That card is so humongous! What do I do? Burst Lightning? Come on! Yes! Are you kidding me? What? Was that our first one? No, that was our second! That was our 1 outer. Oh my gosh. Burst lightning off the top. Close game. Close game. But you know what? Actually, the interesting thing about that game is that 1 damage, right? Had my opponent just use a burst light... Oh, no. Yeah. Had my opponent use burst lightning on their turn to kill my immolator, that Prowler would have been 1 bigger. And if it was 1 bigger, they would have had lethal, so I couldn't actually attack them. I don't think. Anyways, burst lightning off the top. Let's go! Alright, on the play, we got the Llanowar Elves. That is a key to success with my deck. Turn 1 Elves into turn 2 Truffle Snout. Thanks. Alright. What you got for me? Let's make a food, and then we'll just ambush Wolf here. Gets the most power and toughness in play. They're probably going to play a creature of some kind, but not going to be enough here. Not with what we have. Let's abrade. Just because Bite Down can get a larger creature. There's no sweeper, I don't think, at this mana cost, so I'm just going to play everything. If they use a removal spell here, I can still kill them with Snakeskin Veil for 7 points of damage. Okay. What can you have for 1 black? It could be Stab, but I have the answer for that as well, so let's just kill them. Alright, this was a thrashing. They just had nothing. They just went Beastkin Ranger, Beastkin Ranger. I was on the play. The power of the Llanowar Elf. Full display of that game. Full display. Alright, this is nice and clean. 4-0. Just for 4-0, that would have made us... We would have gotten into the second draft of the Arena Open. I know it's best of 3, but still. Alright, on the play... Alright, this is a I'm gonna believe in my deck type of hand. It's a 5-lander, but it's got the Llanowar Elf, and I do have a top-end card to eventually play. But in the meantime, I'm hoping to draw a creature that I can play. Okay, well, I got stabbed. I mean, that doesn't take away from the fact that I would still like to draw a creature, but... Okay. Wow. Quite the draw from the opponent. Alright, where everyone's favorite wary thespian against things that... against creatures where the sizing is awful. Vampire Nighthawk, okay. Wow. Well, their deck is really good. Not much I can do. Perhaps this was just a mulligan. But just blue-black stab, double Infestation Sage into Nighthawk? Like, that's just... It's a lot. Yep, and we drew a bunch of lands in a row after surveilling one to the graveyard. I'm just making this into a 4-2. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, but definitely a bit flooded here. We have 16 lands with 2 Llanowar Elves and playing against a good blue-black value deck here. Wow. Okay. Gorehorn Raider would be pretty nice. Oh, looks like they just have a stab. Sure, sure. I mean, we are in the 4-0 bracket. We are starting to play against decks that are quite powerful. Let's kill a Strix Lookout, I guess. I guess they're stuck on 3 lands. But they probably have a Hero's Downfall or something. At the minimum, in Eaten Alive or Baked into a Pie, any of those would be obviously very strong here. And we're at 9 life. They've been pecking away. Billowing Shriekmass. Okay. A 4/4 flyer here as well. This is brutal. I'm gonna kill this flyer. And then play the Prowler. I need to find a way to kill the Shriekmass and also the Nighthawk. That's not gonna be easy. And that's game. And no shame in losing to a very solid blue-black deck and us keeping a somewhat sketchy hand. It's just, we to beat a deck like that, we're gonna need to draw the top end of what my deck's capable of, and also them to not draw 2 stabs. Alright, on the play here, oof, gosh. What are these? I don't think I can mulligan hands like this, but I don't know. I mean, this is why I just don't like expensive cards. Especially in red-green, so I wasn't taking them very... that's why I took the 3-drop over the Indrik. Another blue-black deck? Alright, well... Give me a 3-drop. We have lots of 3-drops in our deck. There we go. And yeah, I'm going to do this now. Against a blue deck, you generally just want to play around counterspells. So I just want to main phase this. All the removals mostly instant speed anyways. Yeah, like they have a stab, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, they have a Mischievous Mystic as well? This is what we're going up against? Okay. We don't have a ton of removal, and we just drew another 4-drop. Here comes a card draw spell. Nope, Micromancer. Reality is kicking in, folks. Reality is certainly kicking in with this. I'm going to play the Sower of Chaos first, because I think the Treetop Snare Spinner is more important in this matchup. So they're going to probably just go Eaten Alive on the Sower of Chaos and then attack me for 5. Well, this is extremely surprising. They must have some great follow-up here. Holy cow, what do you have? Maybe it's just a counterspell. It could just be a counterspell. That's what it feels like. But the nice thing about Counterspell, yeah, is, and, you know, we were playing around that turn 3, is they don't get a card off the Mystic. They discarded Eaten Alive? What on earth? Alright, give me a land here. Untap land. A Braid also works. I can't attack anymore, though, so we gotta pass. Their hand must be insane, by the way. They discarded Eaten Alive. Yeah. I mean, we are running it. This deck is absolutely bananas, right? This is the dream. Look at their graveyard. How do you get... Did you see how bad... I mean, alright, whatever. Did you just see, like, our draft, we're just, like, we're trying the best, scrapping for cards, and putting together a somewhat cohesive collection of cards, and then, like, you play against that, and you're just wondering, There's a reason why There's a reason why some people prefer drafting in 8-person pods. Because you just don't see that. That was back to back, really solid Dimir decks. I do like Dimir, to be fair. Just trying different things. Okay, well, we won 4 matches very quickly, and we lost 2 matches very quickly. This is 40 minutes. We're 4-2, 40 minutes in. Alright, I'm going to keep this 3 Forest, Wary Thespian, Ambush Wolf. Hopefully the Thespians will find us the red sources that we need. But hey, it's a hand with a 2-mana card and a 3-mana card. I think if it's a forest, I'll bottom. But if it's a mountain, I'll top. Oh. I'm true to my word. True to my word. Don't play Helpful Hunter, okay? Oh, that's a good one. Well, that makes me not want to attack. We drew another red card. Is this how it ends? It'd be a really sad way for it to end, I will say. Okay, we don't want the Snare Spinner either. Okay, well, they kind of went all in on this, and we were able to ambush them. Literally. Okay. Mountain. All right. Good. That was a nice setup turn they had, by the way, with the banner. Now I at least feel like I can play an honest game of Magic with my opponent. And wherever the chips fall, the chips fall. Oof, that's a lot of banners. Savannah Lions on... Okay, I see. Let's get in for 4. They have all the mana. Ooh, a Healer's Hawk. It's a 2-1. So they split the difference on the colors here. Wow! Heroic Reinforcements. That's big. Well, I don't want to trade with those tokens. Or do I? No, I don't. I don't. We'll take 9, I guess. Alright, give me a land here. Land here would be nice. Great. We can kill the Healer's Hawk. And still have a formidable board. Two cards in hand for the opponent. Banner, really, really nice with the reinforcements. Wait, what color are the tokens? Oh, they're just white. I thought the tokens were red and white. Looks like a removal spell, maybe. We shall see. Maybe a Burst Lightning. We are mostly out of gas. Oh, never mind. Wow. That was really good. That was really good. So now the question is, am I supposed to trade Gorehorn Raider for 2 tokens? They're at 11. Oh, they have to triple block. No, this is great, actually. This is fine. They have to triple block because I play the Immolator. If they double block, then it's whatever. And this is also fine. Okay. I'll play the land here because if I draw a mountain, I want to be able to utilize all 3 abilities. You know, I love their deck. It's Boros tokens, and they are actually going over the top right now. And I am in trouble. I am in some serious trouble here. Like, that was just too much. A guarded air here is ridiculous. Like, how am I supposed to race this? I don't think I can. I can chump block one of the knights and then sack it to kill the guarded air. Wow, do you have more action? How do you... Alright, good beats. Good beats. You know, with our start, I had high hopes. I did. I had really high hopes, and we are not doing it. We are not doing it, man. Like I said, I mean, our deck was just full of commons. It's not like it was anything amazing, but wow, it's really cool that my opponent was able to draft kind of a red-white go big token deck with banners and guarded heirs and heroic reinforcements and goblin negotiations. You know, this is just not something that you typically see. And good on my opponent. Good on my opponent. And sadly for us, this was a pretty quick run. A speed run, if you will. I was hoping to climb a rank there, and instead, a quick 4-0 into a quick 0-3. But that is the nature of the beast. That is the nature of the beast, and like I identified earlier, the big problem with this deck was just the fact that we didn't have enough of the Synergy Matters cards. I kept some sketchy hands against two excellent Dimir decks. I don't know that there's a combination of cards where I would have been able to beat them anyways, just because I'm just playing a bunch of creatures and they had a bunch of good removal spells. And so I don't know that I would have beaten those decks anyways. And then the red-white deck was just... I thought I was looking really good. Typically, the red-white decks are low to the ground and just try to curve you out. But their late game was actually stronger than mine, right? Because they were able to play cards that gave them multiple tokens with the banners that were in play. So that they were able to get us there, and sadly, we finished with a 4-3 record. But honestly, going after the draft, given that we didn't have any powerful rares or anything like that, a 4-3 record is more or less kind of what you should be expecting out of a deck like this. It's got good curve, check. Decent-ish interaction, right? Double Burst Lightning, Abrade, double Immolator, double Gorehorn Raider, Indrik. So decent interaction, check, and a couple of combat tricks. But this format is largely defined by its strength of removal spells and bombs, and we were just kind of lacking in the bomb department here. And especially for a red-green deck to really be able to do its thing, you need a lot of those signpost cards, I feel, to kind of take it over the top. I thought our deck was, again, totally fine. This is just how you construct a deck. This is how you build a red-green deck. You got the Llanowar Elves, you have some of the 4 power matter stuff, you have removal. This is how you can construct a playable deck. But sometimes you're just going to run into better decks, and you're just going to lose. And like I said, I thought this deck was totally fine. If this deck got a trophy, I'd be like, oh, probably overperformed a little bit. And if it went 0-3, I would go, oh, probably ran bad. And 4-3 is about expectation. It's just, given that we went from 4-0 in 10 minutes or 20 minutes to 0-3 in another 10 minutes, it just felt like one of those speed runs, but it just in a really weird way. But it's okay. That's what tomorrow's for. We have another draft lined up. I'm going to keep doing this. I do still enjoy drafting this format. I will say, I enjoy drafting this format way more than I like sealed. I'm just, full disclosure, this is the first draft after me making infinite arena open runs. And so I just want to let everybody know, okay? I didn't just give up after 3 runs. On Saturday, I fired 16 bullets. Look at my gems. I had 110,000, 120,000 gems. I fired 16 bullets. I had 2 win-ins, several 5-3 finishes, and it was tough. It was tough. And obviously after the 5th or 6th attempt, I could feel my play getting worse. I was definitely tilted, but I kept going because I really, really wanted to make day 2. And I played literally until they wouldn't allow me to play anymore. I played 20 hours. I played from 8 a.m. till 3 in the morning, something like that. So I definitely gave it my all, but still came up short. This seal deck format, I really, really dislike. I think it's the worst one that we've had this year. And just overall, this format, obviously it's not going to kind of have the staying power as some of the other sets that we've enjoyed this year. There's far less cross colors synergies, right? You have your blue-white decks, you have your blue-black decks. There's not a lot of overlap between those. And so the set's not quite as deep in that aspect. But for what they were trying to accomplish, I still think it was successful. You stay in your 2-color lane, you draft your 2-color lane, and if you identify the right colors, your deck will be fine. I wish that there were a few more good playable cards at common. But outside of that, still reasonably enjoying the limited format a lot more than the sealed. So, more drafts to come. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more daily videos just like this. If you've enjoyed this content and wanted to support the channel in another way, the Patreon is the best way to do so. Thank you so much to all of the patrons. Additionally, check out tcgplayer.com for all your TCG singles and sealed product needs. If you want to make purchases on the website, make sure you click that affiliate link on the description below before making those purchases. And last but not least, check out heavyplay.com for premium Magic the Gathering supplies and accessories. If you want top of the line deck boxes, playmats, sleeves, dice boxes, and more, go to heavyplay.com/paulcheon for 10% off your first order. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow.